Welcome to the Knitting Samurai and Her Guys video podcast. I'm your host, Steph, also known as Knitting Samurai. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram. That's where I hang out, when I hang out. And there are show notes on the blog, Knitting Samurai and Her Guys, all one word, .blogspot.com, and on the WordPress blog as well. So, let's jump right into it, all right? Let's talk about what's on the knitting needles. So, first up in my Front Range Bags bag is the Storytime Scholar Sweater by Lisa Chimuri. I'm using Barocco Vintage Chunky in color 6105. And let's see. I'm knitting the 6 to 12 month size, although I think that's wrong, right? Didn't I say that last time? That I highlighted all the wrong. Well, okay, so here's what happened. I highlighted, here's what the sweater looks like on the pattern page. I don't remember if it's free or not. I don't think it is. But anyways, nonetheless. So I'm actually knitting the 3 to 6 month size, but it's sized to fit a 17-inch chest, but the actual finished garment has a 22.5-inch chest, and the sweater I just knit row was like 26 inches, so I didn't want to knit the 6 to 12 month size was almost 24 inches. Like, this seemed like the right size chest, and so this is how much I have done. And if I hold it, because I'm working on the collar right now, it has a bit of a shawl collar, but if I hold it, so we're just looking at the back, that is totally wide enough for Tristan. He is not that big a guy, nowhere near that big. So, and the sleeves seem kind of short to me, but short compared to the body, but I feel like they're the right size for him, so I haven't tried it on him yet. Not really anxious to fight a baby into a sweater while it's still on the needles. Love the patterning on the elbow patches. I think it's so cute. And it's going to have a shawl collar up around the top, and then it's a double-breasted, I'm almost done, I'm sorry that I didn't get it finished in time for you, but then it's a double-breasted with 2 buttons. Two by 2 buttons, there we go. So it's gonna be so cute on him. And next Thursday, I think, are school pictures for the boys. So Roland's gonna wear his Soledad, and Tristan's gonna wear his Storytime Scholar sweater. So yay! And I am knitting this on US 10 6mm needles, and it's just flying. I think I'm up to like 6 hours into it. Like, honestly, this 1x1 ribbing around the top for the shawl collar is the slowest thing about it. And I can tell that the bottom hem, the bottom of this button band, I don't know if you can tell, it is curving up a little bit. And there was a time in my life when that would bother me. I was like 3 rows into the button band when I realized that, and that it was gonna go up and not quite lay even, and blocking wasn't even gonna fix this. Like, I could just tell. The ratio she had you pick up didn't seem right to me, but okay, I'll do what she says. And some people had commented that the button band cinched up a bit. So if you are gonna knit this, I would follow what you would normally follow for a button band to pick up stitches ratio, like a 2 to 3 or a 3 to 4, whatever you would normally do. So rather than what the pattern says. But yeah, so normally that would have been like, oh no, it's a good 1/2 inch higher. Can you see that right there? I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's like that on both sides, so it's fine. Because you know what? When a baby wears clothes, he's all scrunched up anyways, right? And I can tell you right now that thinking about Tristan just makes me sad. Oh, he's so sick. He's so sick. I stayed home with him on Monday and Tuesday this week. He's got some sort of stomach virus. The doctors had us switch to a soy food for a while to see if that would help. It didn't. Went back to a lactose-based food, that didn't help. He's got special probiotic drops, that's not helping. And basically, we've been to the doctor's office twice. I've called a couple times because I'm like, really, this is all I can do, because his little bum is so chapped. And, oh, it's so fun to be this sick. And he's happy because he's the happiest baby on the planet, but you could tell he's just not right. Like, he's a little extra fussy, but then you get talking to him and he's happy. So, yeah, I called Thursday when we were there. Today's Friday. Thursday when we were there, they basically said, like, yeah, it's not okay that he's having, this is a lot, this is like TMI, I'm sorry, but that he's going number 2 so many times, like 10 or 12 times a day. It's not all right, but give it until Monday. So they're gonna run some tests on a sample they took, but it's still like, oh, I wish there was something I could do to help him. Because he's waking up a couple times during the night, which of course is not good for us. You know, he wakes up because it hurts, he went, and so we change him and he goes right back to sleep, but still. Anyways, my poor little T. What are you doing, Tristan? You want to come this way? Oh, okay, Mom. My turn. Hi. Hi. There you go. You gonna keep going? Oh, no. He says, I'm gonna go back. Oh. Hope he does better soon. But he did have his 4-month checkup, and he's, let's see, 10 ounces lighter than Roland. He's a half an inch taller than Roland at this age, and his head is a half an inch smaller than Roland's as well. So it's so funny, they are like exactly the same size. I think the last appointment, Roland weighed more, and then the others were the same. So it's just so funny to see that. Yeah, but other than his stomach problems, he's doing great. So, yeah, and he spent the whole visit talking to the doctor because he is Mr. Personality. I don't know where he came from. So there's that. I did want to show you these just to say, here they're done. So the garter ear flap hats that I had made, these are by Pearl Soho. I had made 3 of them, so there's, in Barocco Vintage, there are notes on the blog if you want to know details. I'm not going to recite them all, but there's the 3rd size up, there's the 2nd size up, and then here's the 2nd size adjusted because I ran out of yarn. But I like them with the little bits of tassel on the top. It reminds me of Tristan's hair right now. So those got all their edges, their ends woven in and got their tassels put on, so I thought I'd just show them just to say, okay, they're done. And then, oh, I put this over here. So the Front Range bag, Nancy, who is Nanny Knitter, had offered one of these as a prize, right? And everybody put their drawings in on the thread, or put their favorites in on the thread. So we had 127 entries. I did a, oh boy, okay. I did a random number generator and then wrote the notes on a different piece of paper, not on my show notes, because my show notes are what go on the blog. And, okay, anyways, I can remember this. It was, I believe, number 35. And the reason I can remember it is because she is Steph Stitches, something like that. Her name's Stephanie, and she's in Washington. So Stephanie in Washington, send me a PM, and I'll put you in contact with Nancy. I guess so, yeah. I guess you can contact Nancy. Maybe I'll contact Nancy. Tell her you're gonna contact her. I think that's what I'll do. Because I want you to see this before, just send a PM. But thank you very much, Nancy, for giving us a bag to give away. So, and that was Front Range bags. And again, if you would like to get one because you didn't win and you want to use a 20% off coupon code, you can use KS2014. So there's that. My September socks. So these, you will recall, are the socks that I am knitting that are Halloween-y. And I decided to give this pair to Tristan's teacher, Randy. So I have a Tangled Mess. I didn't want to go, so this is a toe up 2x2 rib basic slip stitch heel construction, and by Wendy Johnson. I give her credit for her heel construction that I love ever so much. I didn't want to lose the pattern doing the gusset increases up to the heel flap, so I used a second piece. I pulled off a ball basically from this and went with that for the heel flap over here. And then this one, you can see I'm still in the middle of the heel flap, so I have 2 going, so this one will continue in the pattern on the front when I get there. And I have, I think, 2 stitches to go. I was actually gonna, best laid plans. I was planning to finish knitting two more rounds, and then this would be at a good stopping point to show you, but whatever, you don't care, right? It's only me, I only care. So the heels are not, I'm looking at them right now, they're similar, they're not perfectly matched for sure, but that's fine, she's not gonna know. And when I pick back up for the leg, they'll be almost perfectly matched. I might fiddle around a little bit just to get them there, but then again, she's not a knitter, she doesn't care, they're just gonna be cool socks to her. So I had thought I would do about a 1-inch cuff on these, but they are, because she wears pads, at least it's been summer, downstairs at the daycare, and so I thought a 1-inch cuff, but maybe that's weird, maybe I should do a full 5-inch cuff. I don't know. For a non-knitter, someone who doesn't have hand knit socks, who doesn't wear them, I don't want to put a huge amount of labor into it, but at the same time I also don't want her to be like, well, why are they so short? I don't understand. We'll see how I feel. This is Opal Love Story in the romantic color 7910, and I do absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So they're both coming along. See, are we getting near the end of the month? Yeah, I've been knitting on these. I haven't had too many things on the needles, so these should be finished by the end of the month. That's my goal. And I did make myself another new card. So I always carry a card in my sock bags that have the slip stitch heel basic sock, just the heel patterning of what to do. And so now I've added onto the back of it the Fish Lips Kiss heel, because I do want to do that more and I don't want to have to carry around the big 9 pages. So I made 5 of these. I need to deal them out into my current favorite knitting bags. This was my old one, so I need to get rid of that. But what will you find in a knitter's bag? All kinds of things, right? So there's that. Anything else to show you? Yes, there's more. There's always more. I started a cowl. Ooh, that was loud. I'm sorry. I started a cowl. I didn't get past the cast on. So this is some of the periwinkle sheep that I purchased last Friday, a week ago today, at Stitches East. And it's the Aran weight. I'm trying it on. So I figured out what my gauge is on US 10.75 millimeter needles. No, 10.75 needles, which is a 7 millimeter. I figured out my gauge with this yarn, and then I want an infinity cowl just slightly longer than my Denver cowl turned out to be. So I did my gauge calculation and figured out how many stitches I needed to cast on, and then I'm going to loosely base this off of Donna Edgar's Easy Lacy Cowl. It's a free pattern over on Rab. It's either knit with sport or worsted weight yarn on smaller size needles. So I'm just going to use her stitch repeat and basic construction. So it has garter stitch edge, lace, and then garter stitch edge. So that's the plan here. I got as far as a cast on, and then I stopped because I'm short. I think I have 40 more stitches to cast on. That's not going to work. So I got to rip it all out and start again. So that's that. And did you see this? I got one, first time ever, Fat Squirrel Fibers. I got one of her bags. I was so excited, so excited. I actually got 2 of them, but this is the one that I'm using right now. So, let's see, what else has been going on? So I've watched a little bit of TV, being home with a little one. I watched the series, The Witches of East End. I believe it's a Lifetime TV show with Julia Ormond. That's what caught my interest. Netflix has been pushing it on me, and so I was like, okay, fine, let me check this out. The acting isn't the greatest, but if you like the show Charmed, it reminds me so much of that show, which I watched for several years. And I would say the first half, it gets better as the season goes along. So I think season 2 is out there, but it's not available on Netflix yet. But I enjoyed that this week, Witches, and it's just witches. And then I also watched A Young Doctor's Notebook. Okay, so let me put a disclaimer on this. Mad Men, John Hamm, okay, gorgeous man. So this is a series. It's kind of along the lines of one of those British series that it's like 4 30-minute episodes. So basically it's a movie that they broke into 4 parts. But so it had John Hamm in it and Daniel Radcliffe, I think is his name, Harry Potter. And I wanted to watch it all summer, but it just didn't work out. And so Monday, Tristan and I were home, and I was like, okay, this isn't a big commitment. Let's see, let's watch this. And it's about in the 1917, 15 time period, a doctor in northern Russia, like way off from Moscow, and the medical practices that were going on at that time. So it sounds kind of gruesome, and I definitely would not have watched it if it hadn't been so funny. Oh my God. Jon Hamm is awesome. I love him. So if you can get past the gore and like, oh, this is just traumatizing what they're showing me, like to think about that this was how they did medical procedures at that time. If you could get past that, there's a lot of funny things in that show. So, and of course football, it's football season. So last night, my LYS had a yarn tasting. I've never been to one of those. Cascade sent a rep, and basically, like, okay, the store was so packed. Like, I left Steve with the boys. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for an hour. I'm gonna see some of my friends I haven't seen in ages, like before the boys were born. And I'm just gonna go, and I'll be back in an hour just in time for bedtime. Okay, I'm gonna go. I got my size 6s and my size 2s, 3s, smaller size needles. I'm gonna do this yarn tasting thing, right? And I was all excited. It was a rainy, dark night, and one of those nights where you just want to curl up at home with a cup of hot chocolate and knit and watch something good on TV. But I did it. I went out into the elements. I got there. The store was so packed. Oh my God. You couldn't move. It was like you walked in and you took like 2 steps and 2 steps. And there's so many people there. It was like 900 degrees. It was a joke to think that you were going to actually pull out your needles and knit with any of the yarn, which was really nicely like put out around the store. So I'd pick up a skein and touch it like I normally would when I was yarn shopping. And the yarn rep, I think every 3 minutes was drawing, because like we'd be talking and then all of a sudden he'd be like, okay, door prize. And so we'd have to stop our conversation and listen to what our numbers getting pulled. So I won something. I think everyone won something. Everyone I know won something. So, sorry for the crinkle. I got the Highland Duo yarn and the Cell Stitch Cowl by Shannon Dunn-Babbitt. I don't know, that kind of looks like what I was just talking about that I wanted. So maybe I'll use this. I can't believe that's knit with one skein of 197 yards. Oh, and it's super soft. So this is a baby alpaca merino, 70/30, very soft, in a great fuchsia colorway. I think this color looks pretty good on me normally. People love it when I wear green around here. Oh, I've had my glasses on this whole time. Can you see how green my eyes are? I'm feeling a little silly. It's Friday. It's been a really rough week here. Just like the sick baby. Roland had some stuff going on. Like, work's just... The guy with the concussion isn't coming back until the middle of November, maybe. But the yarn tasting was super fun, and it was so great to catch up with some people I hadn't seen in so long, and I miss being in the knitting world on a weekly basis. I did find out there's a knitting group on Monday nights at the Panera. I might go. Like every other week. Right? We'll see. I might try. So while I was there, I didn't bring it with me. I didn't want to haul it all to work, but I bought, of course, Cascade yarn was on sale. So of course I'm going to stock up, right? And I bought a skein of opal too, because I can't resist. It was I don't know, one of the Little Prince colorways. Very bright, very cheery. I love opal. But the Cascade, so I got 2 sweaters worth of Cascade Heathers, 220 Heathers, whatever. I'm not sure if it's superwash or not. I need to double check that. But I got a rust heather color to make a sweater for Ro, and a teal, my favorite color, teal heather color also for a sweater. A sweater's worth. I got 3 skeins, like 600 yards. So for him, for a child sweater, not for me. And I also got a skein of Cascade Eco Plus, thinking that one single skein would be enough to make a sweater as well, or another bulky sweater like that for the boys. So, speaking of new things, I have one last thing to share with you. Spoiler alert. So I did get my Into the World Club colorway this month. and I immediately drooled when I pulled it out. This is called Butterfly Effect in the Pacu sock. It's a 75-25 merino nylon, superwash merino nylon. It's beautiful. It's like rust, brick, navy, red blue. So I'm feeling in need of a hitchhiker. I need to do something with my Into the World. It's starting to amass and stand there and look at me with shame and say, why haven't you done anything with us yet? Because we're beautiful. So I need to get cracking on that. And that's it. So one last thing to talk about. The elephant in the room. It's Friday. It's Rhinebeck weekend and I'm not there. I could have gone. I could have really pushed hard, but Tristan was sick. This week has been out of control. And the making arrangements to see the family just wasn't working out. And it's like all signs point to no, you know? So as much as I love Rhinebeck and I'm gonna be so jealous, I'm gonna have to live vicariously through everybody's Instagram photos, and you better be posting how gorgeous that foliage is. I wanna see it. Not that anyone's gonna see this while they're there, but so that's that. I know, I didn't get to go to Rhinebeck this year, but I did get to go to Stitches East and a yarn tasting, all these things that I've never done before. My phone is blowing up. I don't think you can hear it, but gosh. Husband, friends, it's Friday, let's do stuff. So that's it for me for this week. I hope I haven't talked your ear off too much. I think I have some kiddo footage for you. I like to try and get it in every week just so you can see something. And I really loved sharing Steve with you last episode. And I think you guys like seeing him too. He really is pretty funny. So he just doesn't let me record him very often. So that's what I have to say. And until I have more to say in about 10 days or so, enjoy what's going on in your knitting, and I'll see you then. Take care.